Hey, what's up, my friends? Good evening. How is everybody doing tonight? This is Big Chonis coming at you live. Oh, how does that picture look? How does that sound look here? Just want to make sure everything sounds good for everybody on this fine evening. Sounds good. All right, everything sounds good there. This is the Big Chonis. So listen, interesting day of Bitcoin price action, to say the least. Interesting day, in crypto in general, with the events of our friend Bitcoin SV here. And we're going to check out to see, how that really affected the market. Remember, guys, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Big Chonis. I'm a cryptocurrency trader, investor, mentor, a chart psychologist. I'm also a featured contributor to Bitcoin Live. Please feel free to check out me there, as well as my YouTube channel. Make sure you guys give me a follow on my YouTube channel. Just hit that subscribe button if you would be so inclined, and that thumbs up button as well if you enjoy my content here, because we have some interesting content and interesting price action to discuss. Okay, give me 1 second here. Let's pull up our, all right, that looks good. That looks good. Oh, that looks good. All right. So listen, daily candle, let's start there. We had a pullback of note yesterday. We had a bearish engulfing daily candle here. Now, we were up earlier in the day, almost to the $5,200 range, before getting very much rejected. And interestingly enough, the events of the Bitcoin Cash SV delisting clearly had an effect on the price action at that time. We can zoom into this hour in the day, really these two back-to-back candles here, when the news hit of that delisting, and people who were in SV, longs got hit hard there, and it did have a ripple effect about the fact that if a coin, no matter what it is, can be just one day instantly removed or delisted from an exchange, to think about, wow, how truly safe is it to have my investments in these coins, and what kind of impact can these events truly have? And we basically saw this pullback from 5,200 all the way down to the break of 5K. And this was our first break of the 5K region for over 3 days here. We have yet to break below intraday, and we did that today. Now, this, I'm on the hourly chart here. We put in a higher low from the last time on April 11th that we did break below 5K intraday. 49.02 was that low, 49.45. So we are still holding a higher low. There are buyers still in the market every time we break that $5,000 area of support. There are buyers, and that sounds good. And that's something that remains consistent here. And listen, is definitely a bullish sign until proven otherwise. Bitcoin was tested today with the break of 5K and the delisting, and to see what kind of FUD that actually could be basically going through and portraying in the market. But the recovery, intraday of that break is notable, because we had this hammer candle with decent volume here, bringing up our price action, finding that support, and actually holding the close of our hourly candle above 5K. So we get to close that hourly candle. Remember, we closed that hourly candle the last time on April 12th. We dipped our toe in below 5K this time, but we were able to pull it back before that hourly candle closed. And ever since then, with volume, we've had this bullish continuation of that support area. So short term, our local top still remains below 5,200. And our local support now is still that break of 5K, with supports, in the $4,900 area. I want to look at a couple indicators, and then we'll get into some pattern recognition and whatnot. Daily Bollingers, we're back in. We've found support. Sorry, my apologies. hourly Bollingers, and I want to start with the hourly. We'll move up from higher time frames from there. Listen, several candles outside. Okay, found support in, has been riding that ever since the past 4 hours. 4 hour Bollinger is kind of janky here. Did find this support back-to-back 4 hour candles, yet to close below. And this is, again, that showing of the bullish stance and the buying below that 5K area. 6 hour, okay, this was our first close back-to-back. Actually, that definitely didn't happen very soon there. We did have that up thrust above the middle BB before coming down here. Still very tight on the 6 hours as we get to this higher time frame. Direct lower BB on a 12-hour support there. So I'm putting the move here we have in the context that do we have a Cheds potentially? There he is.
Is that like a medical condition? You have a Cheds?
Who's that? We have a guest here, folks, ladies and gentlemen. Cheds, why don't you do a little hello to the people here? Make sure your audio is good.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear me. It's Big Cheds. Happy to join the show. I'm a big fan of Big Chonis. And I know you guys, you gals like when we come together, we talk, we debate, and XYZ. So.
All right. Yeah, Cheds, your audio is great. Thank you for joining me. Guys, I got Big Cheds on the line here. Maybe you guys can follow him on Twitter. He is at Big Cheds, puts out great content. You can also see him at least once a week in Indian Buffet. And I've asked Cheds to come on here and to just kind of talk about what he's seeing in the markets as well, and what today's Bitcoin price action may reveal. Cheds, I'm basically scanning the Bollingers, and I'm up to the 12-hour here. I do find it notable that we were able to find almost to the penny lower BB support here on the 12-hour, basically putting this move into context that even though we had this pullback, still the fact that we are over 5K, have yet to close under 5K, to me, it still shows the bulls have that command still until proven otherwise. What say you?
I mean, I was actually looking at that pinch. You see, you have a kind of sustained pinch. I was looking for context. Can you scroll out and see like where we've had something like that? Like for
sure, 12-hour.
Yeah, I mean, because we're kind of all right. So it can get a little tighter, and it can travel in this range for a while. I'm looking back around March, like the second half of So yeah, it can definitely get tighter. So there's that. So then you have that kind of a big enough range between the middle and the lower Bollinger Band that we're talking about. Like $300-400? That type of thing. So we'll have to probably wait for the Bollingers to get tighter here. What is this? The 12-hour we're just closed?
Yeah, we're only about half hour into this new.
So yeah, I mean, it's got an upper shadow, it's got a lower shadow. It's still a higher low for now. I think that's what's important. But for me, Big Chonis, looks to me like we've put in our lower high.
Lower high. Okay.
Yeah, the candle that closed, the second to last candle. The second to last candle. Right? Not this candle, one before that. Nope, not the one after the white one. Like that's our lower high.
From the preceding candle.
Nope, our lower high.
From this guy.
Yeah. That's our high, right? And now I think we have our lower high. You know what I mean? Like now
we also have our higher low because we actually put in a higher low. That's what I was kind of noting earlier, that even with this pullback, there's buyers in the market every time we seem to break this 5K region. And just with the sense of, if we take the BBs out and just look at the volume profile as we skirt, sideways here, right? We're still over 5K. Our volume has decreased significantly, you can argue, since our bullish push that brought us above 5K. Do you find it a divergence issue of such, where we're losing the volume but still maintaining these higher prices?
I'm just tweeting that I'm live with you right now, so people the people know. But I forgot to do that. Live right now with Big Chonis, BTC, Bitcoin. Okay, cool. So the question was, what's my favorite flavor of ice cream?
No, it's too early for ice cream season.
So what we talked about the equilibrium here at 12-hour, higher low, lower high. What's going to give? And you were making
about the volume. Yeah, does the volume say anything?
Volume. Yes. So there's not a lot of because it's the fact you don't have a lot of buying or selling. It reflects that equilibrium. It's balancing out, right? We don't have these extreme moves where the bulls are kind of put in support and the bears are trying to put in resistance. I mean, it's pretty much in this little tight range here. You pointed that out.
But the declining volume, I mean, just the
declining
fact that
volume means you're
we've been
getting
able to
closer
hold
to a
this
decision.
5K area.
And on declining volume, right? Leading towards a decision point, right? It's always like that declining volume. Maybe we have a little bit of a volume trend break on that candle, the red candle that just closed. I mean, you can argue there's a little bit of a volume trend break, right? More volume than the last 3 or 4, 5, 6 bars before it. So is this the beginning of a volume trend break? But we're looking for the follow through. We're not seeing it yet. So like everything is like follow through, right? Like with anything big Chonis, like on a breakout, how much volume is behind it? And on a big sell off or a big buying spree, like is there follow through volume? And that's kind of what you're looking for.
So on the daily candle here, we were watching to see how it closed. We had the bearish engulfing the rejection around the $5,200 range. The buying stepped in again, but this is a second day here where we had this lower test of the 5Ks, and today it broke. Now it was saved towards the end, and we closed above the 5K, but it's being tested again for a second day in a row here. Just a quick check on a couple other indicators, because our RSI being in this above 70 range, it's not very often we're up there for the length of time we've been there for this move here. Only back in July it was a brief move here.
Right.
So we're still in a very strong sense. Now this pullback, getting this rejection here of this area, triple tests, rising channel. The bulls wanted to hold this area and can still hold this area and rip again, because this higher low, higher RSI on this moves here. The RSI is still strong, even though we're kind of going sideways. So we're in the 60s still. That's still not that bad. That still has some juice, from that bullish standpoint. And just quickly here,
hold on though, not quickly. But like, has it sold off enough yet? I mean, like, I get, you're making a great point. Like, if buying comes in, you could run without being overbought. But like, has it cooled off enough yet? And is it a higher low? I don't know, higher low. I mean, we're talking about kind of a dance with bulls and bears, and at one point, one of them gets tired.
Yeah, and especially in this kind of middle range, above 30, below 70, a lot can set the trend here. There's more clarity on these extreme, unders. And extreme overs in that sense there. So that'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I mentioned the Stoke had basically getting close to bottoming there. This is the first bear cross on the daily chance we've had on our MACD, since our bullish breakout of the month. We'd seen this coming the past couple days. There was a chance this could have deflected with the bullish continuation. It didn't happen. We're starting a negative histogram. What does this kind of show you about this lagging out indicator momentum?
Well, what happened at the end of February? I'm looking for an analog, and it's just right in front of us, near your yellow line. Like, what happened at the end of February? You had a pretty good peak. Not just a mini crossover around March 19th, right? Not just that little mini crossover. I'm talking about end of February, of that peak up, that shoot up, and then what happened afterwards there. I'm curious. Can we see what the price, like around February 28th? Like, what happened around that time? Because we're trying to draw a comparison.
February, where the peak
go up
was.
right there, boom.
The peak
your cross right there, boom.
Well, the peak of that was exactly
the bear cross. What happened after that bear cross? We had sideways up. So if you're drawing an analog to the MACD, mark right there. Mark where the crossing line, where it's crossing over, maybe like a day after. A little bit further. Go 28th. Keep going. A couple days more. Stop. Mark right there. What's the price there and what happens afterwards? Because that's analog roughly to where we are now, right? A little bit after the cross, and it's sideways up. So if you're going to use the MACD as kind of, we're bearish, it's actually more of a bullish if you go 1-to-1 for what just happened.
After the cross there. So
given that it's lagging, so that kind of buttresses kind of your.
I think to piggyback on that, after that cross, there were two things that happened. The indicators did not space themselves very large; they stayed pretty close. And then the histogram also pretty much stayed very close to that zero line there. So the extremity of this bearish cross did not play out in the indicators here, and thusly we'll be watching to see how the extent of this histogram builds. This was a pretty big mountain here.
It's a bigger move. That's a good point. On the histogram, it's a bigger move, and it's almost like this move is a continuation of the prior move.
This was a bullish move because of the tightness. Even with the bear cross, it wasn't a full-on rejection. This is early, but could basically see some time here. I want to kind of zoom down, just last indicator on the daily I want to look at. And this is overall kind of my go-to for if we're really hit a wall here, I'd say, in the price action.
Okay.
On balance volume, I've watched this the whole way here. It's interesting how much it resembles the Bitcoin price action to a degree, and then bullishly diverges where it just jettisons here, breaking this neckline, as you can see, and has put in these higher highs ever since. Now, unless this fails, unless this consolidation area we're currently in begins to really break down and lose the most near-term supports.
Ooh, that looks like a bull, but doesn't that look like a bullish continuation pattern, like a bull flag?
The consolidation is
OBV.
strong.
Yeah, it looks like a bull. Didn't that look like bullish continuation?
Because of the tightness of the consolidation, I agree. I think it's still very strong, and I can't get a very bearish bias unless this thing really starts to break down, because that's kind of signal, Chad,
I totally agree.
The holders are deciding to say, you know what, I've had a good run, or I'm not convinced we're going to move faster. And once they start to dump, that cascade could accelerate. So this is strong still to me and to you, apparently until proven otherwise. We agree with that?
Yeah, I think you made the best point early on. You pointed out how like the OBV has gained more than the price.
Yeah,
it's kind of a little bit of a lagging effect. I mean, I get that. I also have my own counter to that.
Sure.
I have, it's been well expressed. Not really a counter to that. It's just another view. You know, given that the size, the range of the move it made after that key bull break at like 4,200 big Chonis, like how high it went up without really establishing and testing a higher low. So I just wonder if it needs to, and probably will, and probably should pull back to maybe the midpoint of that candle, 4,500. I've said it a million times.
Well, let's start with that here. Let's say hypothetically that we are in. I mean, do we agree that this is some sort of a bearish flag here? At least in the daily over the past several days here, we have our flagpole. We have our pretty confirmed channel here. We've dipped below it a couple times, but we haven't closed below it. Measured move on this basically could bring the price action down to that mid $4,500. The thing that consistently sticks out to me is how quickly we flew through this area.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying, right? And so, and it was a short squeeze. It was a short squeeze fueled run too. It wasn't like it was like a natural like retail push. Right.
Yeah, and this has been a window of price action that we've blown through on the bullish side and the bearish side, you know. And we can go back to the original break bullishly of this area just to see how quickly we tend to traverse. I'd say up to the 48 to 5K range, and then down to the 43 to $4,400 range. So it almost seems like if we do break down, it would be a very quick and swift break.
Right.
Because of the lack of supports in this area.
I mean, that's great analysis. I think it's a really great way to look at it. And is it a bear flag? Is it not? You can identify, simply put, you have the lower high, and you could definitely make an argument for the bear flag. And furthermore, are we going to put in like a head and shoulders top here? I mean, who knows XYZ? On the counter to that, you don't have a ton of sell volume behind the red channels, red candles. So that you can counter that. I mean, I just think it needs a measured move back a little. You know, when you go, you think you're looking good, but your friend's like, man, you need a little haircut. You know what I mean? How many times you said that to me? Okay, all the time, and I think that's the case.
I think that's a good point, because this move was one of the bigger moves we have seen in Bitcoin in quite a while. $1,000 move. We have not seen that this year, at least. We'll argue. Well, so that's true. Yeah, the bullish move that brought us from $3,100 to $4,100 in 9 days. Okay, that was last year. This is this year. This was the biggest move of this year, and clearly the biggest daily candle, bullish candle we have seen. I mean, literally since the Bitcoin 20K. Maybe a hair of a comparison here back to some of the
volume though. Look at the volume, and you have to look for
maybe this April candle here. So volume was incredible. This was incredible volume, relatively speaking, compared to what we've seen all bear market. from a buy volume standpoint.
But you know what else? You know what's more important than that? Like, look at the context of where that candle is.
Mm-hmm. It was after the higher low test.
Okay.
Clear impulsive move. Two of them, really. This impulsive move, this impulsive move.
Okay.
And every pullback held that higher low until that bottle popped off the top there.
What was that resistance? What was that key resistance we had with that big bear engulfing candle end of February? Then you put in it with those candle closes. You were just that last peak. Like, look at that resistance. So look where the candle came at. It came on a breakout. That's what makes it. That's the significance for me. That's like the first thing that comes to my mind is everything is like the context, right? Like
it's a good setup. It's a good setup.
Yeah, and it's a setup for continuation. We've seen that continuation, but
well, here's the thing. It's almost like, and I don't want to get this into a
there you go. You've got it. You've got it. Yep.
A situation here where how much of did all the power get just launched from this move here, and now it's like, whoa, we're almost like we got blasted out of the cannon, and now our inertia is pulling us back to earth, and we're looking for that second pump here, and it's the market itself. It's searching for a confirmation that there's not cheaper Bitcoin to be had if you just wait on the sidelines a couple more days, and maybe your limit orders in the lower 40 whatevers have a chance to be filled. That's the battle that the bulls and the bears are moving here. But news FUD, right? I feel kind of impacted the day here. I want to talk a little bit about that. Is there anything you want to say more about Bitcoin right now?
Well, no, I mean, pretty much covered it. I mean, we could just like throw fancy words out all day.
Oh, there's more fancy words I'd love to talk about. Hey, listen, before we get any further here, I want to do a quick shout out to everybody in the chat room here. 126 of our closest friends are watching our live stream back and forth. I am Big Chonis. I am with Big Cheds. Please, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Much appreciated.
Hey, Big Chonis.
What's up?
What is that website? Your website, is it chonistrading.com?
It is chonistrading.com.
Do you have openings like next week do you have any mentoring openings next week or next couple weeks?
Let me just say hi to all the fans here in the chat room. McNick95, yeah, boy. Yeah, listen, a little late there, but Tom Brady, best of all time, much appreciated. My 2 cents, AD, Ryan C, JDK, Wizard of Do It Land, Derek Carey, Tony Bayless, thank you, my friend. The Wobbly Jello, what's up to you? Hugo, AT, Dalen Scott. Hey, Paul Rango, my old buddy. Yeah, we may have a chance to check that out. Floyd, Yimmy Queek, Injury X, Millis M, Dan, The Ho. Yeah, the weekly stock has been overbought AF for quite a while. Abdi Omar, what's up, buddy? Random S Socks, Diageo. I am warring. Some guy named Ched's Trading. What's up to you? PLC. Yeah, that's driven by moonlight. Wow, so many here. PLC, I am more God, looks like I got everybody here. Warren Saab ICF, Pat Can. Good.
Hey guys, make funny names just so we have to pronounce them. People do that on my channel. So make funny names like the ones from The Simpsons, that kind of stuff.
That's funny.
No, the one, no, like where they go like Mike, I'm Mike Hunt. And you're like, Mike, stupid stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
That's the one that comes to mind for you. Okay,
you put me on the spot. I tried to not go there, and
you just went to the worst thing to find. Okay, whatever. Hey, that's Big Chaz. You can follow him on Twitter.
Exactly.
All right, so let's get back to Harry. Yeah, listen, Chez is mentioning there. Big Chonis, chonistrading.com. I do personalized mentoring. It's a one-on-one with you and me via Skype. We can, talk about some of the indicators. I like to go over some of my shows here, everything from how to set up your trading view to spotting a trading setup and how to look for those, and just my overall thoughts on the Bitcoin market and a chance to answer any of your questions on a one-on-one basis. Please feel free to DM me or reach out bigchonis@gmail.com. It's only $129 an hour. We can get a lot done in that hour. So it's definitely something I would hope you guys recommend, and please feel free to reach out to me.
What would you say, just real quick, like, what percentage of people usually do another one? Because you've told me most people are like, yeah, I want to do another one. I love it. Like you feel.
Yeah, I mean, after the first one really goes so well, we definitely have a lot of B-backs, and you know, it's basically something that you can figure out at your own leisure. You know, if you want to do something once a week or just once a month, because every time it seems that I talk to somebody that's done a repeat, there's all sorts of like new questions that arise after each episode, so to speak. So definitely, it's a great way to basically figure out this market, or at least work with me, and I can kind of help you answer some of the questions that you may have. So
like you do portfolio review and stuff too, like if people tell you like these are the 10 or 15 coins I have, because I get a lot of those questions. Is that something that you do with people?
Whatever we can fill in the whole hour there's definitely a lot we can cover.
All right, cool. So what do we got going on here? Are we still looking at Bitcoin, or are you checking? What do you have in mind?
Well, listen, so I wanted to basically talk about the pullback we had, and to really assess, was this a buying opportunity? Was this a chance to scoop up a little cheaper coin because of some FUD? The FUD that I'm talking about here was an event earlier today with the other real true Bitcoin. Basically, it's hard to keep track these days. But the announcement on Binance that Binance will no longer list Bitcoin Cash SV. Now, this was the SV side of the fork that happened. There's two sides. There's the SV side. There is the BTC ABC side. Most Coinbase Exchange took the ABC side of the coin, and combined, if you added up this pre-announcement price of SV plus BTC ABC, sorry, BCH ABC, it was around the pre-fork bear break. So that was impressive in itself, that it was quite a buying opportunity with both these coins from their extreme lows. SV at sub 40 went to 140, and the BCH USD was $80, went to 200, back to 100, back to 300. I mean, and just strong in that move there. But this move intraday added some FUD to the market. We saw pullbacks across the board. Litecoin, Ethereum, BCH bucked that trend because, oh wow, if SV is dying, maybe BCH ABC is the true winner here. It spiked up, it definitely pulled back here, but still strong over $300 here. Very curious to see how.
Well, hold on. I mean, I'm sorry, I interrupt you a lot, but it's like you make so many great points. I'm trying to grab a balloon out of the air. Okay, so I think here's our lower high. What do you think?
It's too early to say. I mean, it's one of those things where Bitcoin over 5K, BCH over $300. We've tested the 250s twice. I think what's really impressive just overall is that we found significant resistance at 230. We blew through it. We came back. We didn't even want to test it here. So now we have this angle, like this, that's strong and that can hold until proven otherwise. So this is a very strong, and you have to say that the case for the delist of SV has made potentially even a buller stance here for ABC, because this is the true one, right? The true king to rule them all.
Break the wheel.
We'll see how this plays out. The volume is still very strong, and until we lose 300, I don't see why there can be a bearish sense on this. I would like just to consolidate a lot. This is a tremendous move. So
I can make a great counter argument. I mean, I really can. So let's can I let's see. Can we you want to share my screen for a second? And I can
let's bring you out. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. And just let me know when it looks like we're good to go.
I think you are good to go.
Are we good now or now?
Yeah, you're good. Go.
All right. So it's like basically, I believe, I'm operating under the thesis that I think Bitcoin's pulling back anyway, and Litecoin and Ethereum with them. And if not for what happened, let me back that up. If not for what had happened with SV, would you not agree that BCH would probably be pulling back kind of with Bitcoin here, Ethereum, they're all kind of, you see what I'm saying?
No, I don't,
Oh,
because
you
of
don't.
Bitcoin's continued support of 5K. I mean,
No, no,
this
no, 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 no,
move.
no. You're comparing Bitcoin to Bitcoin. I'm using Bitcoin as my example. You can't use Bitcoin. Look, I'm saying like in the last 3 candles, look,
Mhm.
the last 3, 4 candles, there's Bitcoin. All right. I'm going to circle them for you. Here's the last 3, 4 candles. There's Ethereum, right? You see how everything's kind of moving in tandem here the last day and a half.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were going up until the
Before
news
the
hit.
SV, right?
They were
Right.
bullish.
Right. So if not for the news, BCH would also be pulling back to probably the same amount that BTC and ETH and LTC are.
Would they even be pulling back though?
Okay. So that's the chicken and the egg. I would argue yes. Because we've already seen potentially a lower high. We see this weakness. We're seeing this kind of this bearish continuation pattern. I guess it's impossible to argue against a negative. I guess I would probably let me further buttress my point. That's a decent counter argument. What I would say is this: whereas you have the fact that Bitcoin did put in the higher high here back on the April 10th, Big Chonis.
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum did not, and Litecoin did not, and kind of Litecoin and Ethereum kind of led the way and kind of looking bearish. They were looking bearish, before Bitcoin broke down here at the top. So I kind of was already sensing a turning at the top of the major coins, and kind of over the last week or two. And so I would argue that Bitcoin Cash would have turned back here if not for the news, and that all of them would have. But I guess it's hard to argue a negative. But the point I'm making is we're already seeing the lower highs in these majors. So if Bitcoin is going to pull back, which I believe it to, I really don't see Bitcoin Cash holding support. And then therefore, I think we definitely have put in the lower high here. And that's kind of the point I was trying to make.
And so you think now the market is firmly fixed, because we had seen that bullish divergence on the altcoins first. So you're saying that Bitcoin now has more of a stronghold, it feels, in the market because of everything seems to not be bullishly diverging. They seem to be looking to Bitcoin for that momentum change.
I'm saying that Bitcoin Cash move is a trap. It's gonna go back down with the rest of the majors. They're gonna resume their downtrend. The trend has reversed, in my opinion, and it will resume.
What would counteract that? What would say, oh wow, it broke that low? Like what's the break point where you're saying, wow, the bulls really have asserted themselves? Like if we break it back above $5,200 after being rejected 2 days in a row, I mean, that's only $150 from where we are now. It just feels like maybe it's not that much big of a move to break through that.
Are we on your screen or mine? Just so I know.
Well, I'm just talking about overall that
I just want to know, are we in your screen or mine?
Were you still in yours?
Oh, okay, I was saying we go back to yours. I was just, as you were talking, I was trying to look, and you could be right. Yeah, what would it take? I mean, we have now 4-hour chart, potentially a higher low. We have our lower high. It's equilibrium. We've talked about that. It just looks like it's turning down for me. You asked, what would it take? If we do break above 5,200, I don't know. Would you be convinced? I guess that would be more evidence that the bulls kind of have sustaining power, especially if this is a higher low. So
yeah, I mean, it just feels like the 5K, which to me is still amazing. That we were talking about Bitcoin holding above 4K for such a long time.
Yeah,
and it just kind of skipped over that beat there, which was truly impressive. Hey, I want to go back to Bitcoin here. I'm just having trouble with my chart for some stupid ass reason. I'm not sure why. I'm gonna pull up my chart here, and let's just I want to talk about, we just closed out the weekly candle sheds earlier in the day. We were talking about this conversation about what of this candle, what does this set this week up? We're only a day and a half, into this candle here. Can't really see the volume, can't really look at the candle shape yet. But last week, the fact that we found a defined top here, found strong support below 5K, and closed pretty much where we closed our previous major, almost Maribozu candle week, on decent enough volume. I mean, it wasn't as high as we had the week before, but still, you got to say there was a lot of support that was brought into this candle. Hold it in this area. But this could set up something for this week, right?
Well, like you're making, you pointed out so many great things there. And so you definitely can't argue that the bears have like major control here. Because so on the Coinbase server, it's a little different than Bitstamp. You actually have the spinning top here. You have the high wave spinning top. You pointed out the one after the near Maribozu. You know, a spinning top, a high wave spinning top. It's indecision candle, but the lack of volume means there wasn't that much churn, which means gains were mostly held, right? And that's like the major takeaway. So you can't, even though like you pointed out, like it's decent volume, but it's not like a ton. So it's not like bulls still have a pretty good argument. And I don't know why. I guess I'm still insisting on this, 4,600 area, but I guess it's just because of the size of the move and how quick it went. But like, you're not seeing a ton of selling here in the churn in that spinning top.
There does seem to be this. I mean, listen, it's just so apparent that we blasted so bearishly so quickly. We bullishly blasted through here, and there's just nothing here. There's this free air. So I love the fact that the bullishness holds. I mean, but we're talking about week number 2, week number 3 now above the upper Bollinger. We started that unprecedented since our Bitcoin 20K.
Can we see? Scroll out. Let me see.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll take your word for it.
But we also note that, we're still pretty tight here on our weekly, relatively speaking.
Right.
I mean, Bitcoin 20K, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks straight up. The last 5 weeks closed outside of the upper BB before that one little pause here. And prior to that, there were like 4 that closed above. So we saw how that happened there, but still very tight here in our weekly overall.
Well, but do you think we already have the answer of which way we're breaking as a result of the pinch? Do we have that answer?
That's an interesting point here, because the momentum of bullishness, though notable, we've yet to see the bottom lower BB curve in that bullish pattern. Now, this can happen.
It takes time. I mean, what do you mean we have yet to see a curve? You can't like in 1 week. I mean,
that's the point. It takes time. This will be a move, and this will have to come up as well.
Yeah.
And so but the bottom line is we have established key supports now on the middle Bollinger. And I believe so, because
we had rejected beforehand. You pointed that out to me. Every time you're right. You pointed it out August, September, right? All those rejections, September through November, middle BB. So you have to assume that's a level of confluence.
Plus, I love the back test that was confirmed on the prior to blast off candle right here.
I mean,
close above right here, very tight. The back test doji, come back. Explode. So again, this will take time. I don't expect to be outside the weekly BB.
Can you show me your moving averages? Like, what do you think there? And we see BB.
Yeah. So the moving averages, and this is a great point I wanted to kind of bring up. This reminds me. So when we define what is bullish, what really constitutes a bullish chart?
That's like, what's a beautiful woman, right? Is that kind of question?
Yeah, and it's about man, I guess? Time. Is that what you would call a man beautiful?
Why not? Sure, why not? You're beautiful.
At Big Sheds.
Hey, Okay.
So I talk about this in terms of like, what does the chart say? So you brought up the moving averages, EMA 12, EMA 26, the two that I like to use. I'm on the weekly chart here. We've yet to have that bullish cross, right? We've been bearish crossed since, way back here, May of 18. Okay. Almost a full year. Okay. Highest time frame weekly. I don't want to touch the monthly yet. 12, okay. But as we come lower, we're bullishly crossing the 3-day. We're bullishly crossing the daily and all the lower time frames. Okay. So very strong on the lower time frames. It's great. And only the weekly.
But look at the follow through, flatten out. And
so now we look at the near term, and what was bullish on the hourly is now bearish cross.
Pretty consistent, pretty convincingly, but now it's already curling back. So I mean, like 4 hours.
Here's 4 hours tight. We're right there, undefined. I go out 6 hour here again, undefined, very close. It could break bearish, but
that's equilibrium. You see it right there. There's your equilibrium.
Exactly, right? Very good. There's the equilibrium. So now the 12 hour. Now we get some more definition. This is our second attempt to break EMA 26. Held both times. This is a 12 hour. It's a lot of time to create the candle pattern here. EMA 12 still holding, and then the daily, we finally have found, again, testing this support. EMA 12 on the daily, highest time frame, continues to hold above. Now, the spacing here on the daily between our current support and our fall through EMA 26 on the daily, $4,700 there. So this is the widest our daily EMAs have been since the bearishness of the width of our EMAs back here. Now, these were wide for a very long time here. There's no reason to suggest this can't be wide bullishly, right? Until we get too extreme and then pull back here. But we are at a spread, and you love a good spread of jelly on your PB&Js.
Hummus, tabbouleh, big Chonis. Hey, can you plug in my EMAs?
Yeah, absolutely. You ready to go?
On the weekly EMA. Are we going to my screen? Sure, yeah.
Yeah, all right, you are up. Hit it.
Okay. So let's see. So really 834 exponential moving averages. We talked about the 200 period. Let's expand this before you yell at me. Let's do it this way because Big Chonis likes it big. So sorry about that. So obviously we talked about the 200 period moving average support. And just as a quick plug, I talked about this on the CNBC Trader video I did for CNBC Africa. You can see it on my YouTube page. Sorry, my Twitter page at Big Cheds. So back in 2015, if we're looking for analogs, Big Chonis, to see if we're forming like a bottom here, do you see how the green line tried to cross the yellow and it was first rejected? Big Chonis?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so like I'm watching for that here. And so it's like, are we going to cross now, right? And you can see like the 8 started to get ready and it's kind of flattening out. So is this a situation where we're going to kind of get rejected initially and then come back and cross like on the second time, right? You see like back we did here. So right here, we had the initial rejection flattened and came out and crossed afterwards. So I'm kind of watching that.
Listen, as you have that chart up there, I mean, and this is something in the chat here, if you eyeball that chart and you say we're hitting the exact same moving averages that supported the bottom in 2014, not only have we hit it a couple times, but we've had this beautiful bullish bounce off of it. I mean, it's so hard to argue against the appearance of a bottom, similarly to what we had seen, in that 2014 move and the advancement off that. The thing that I still am skeptical of is this has been a drawn out period after the bottoming. Okay. Remember the 2014, it hit the bottom and then for 10 months it went sideways.
Yeah.
Then it was almost retested again. And then we had the breakout. We're only like 3.5 months after the bottom. Okay. So this would be a significantly accelerated bottoming move.
That's a great point. What was it? We were hanging out at my house and we were watching Tone Vase on the Man Cave TV. And did he not say, you always told me don't plug him but that's all right. No sponsorship deals, right? And he said, we haven't felt enough pain yet. Didn't he say that?
Well, actually, that's a good point. We haven't, I'm eating cereal. We haven't.
Okay.
Pain.
I'm eating crow.
And the pain also has to deal with the fact that there's still so many altcoins out there that has so much value. There's billions of dollars that are still spread out over these 2,000 altcoins.
Yeah.
And for Bitcoin to have that moment where the bottom and the accumulation, no matter what, can really, spread to a mass audience, I feel, is you have to have that further pullout of assets from the altcoin markets. And this purging of SV today, I think, could be a pre-runner to coins with rather high market caps being delisted.
Ripple will never happen, right? That's the one.
This was a high market cap. And let me go to my screen for a second here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cryptocurrency market cap.
Yeah.
Bitcoin SV was it's number 13 now. It was probably it was definitely number 12 before this move happened. And this is, as far as I can think, one of the the more higher market cap coins
Mm.
have a delist from a major exchange such as Binance, and the ripple effect of that, to other places and exchanges.
We've seen this on the OTC, right? When it gets the caveat emptor.
That's a great point, Cheds. OTC comparisons to
right?
when you get that skull and crossbones,
Yep.
or a PC to a PN, right?
Worse than that. Well, yeah, maybe, but worse than that. I mean, this is the gray market listing. I mean, you're literally getting the delist, right?
You're getting kind of that scarlet letter.
Yes.
And a lot of it has to do with the fact that there's a lot of money flow in Binance.
Can I ask you real quick?
Sure.
Sorry. I had a great question, and I think it's a great question. Someone asked me, and I did my ask. I said, like, can ask me anything earlier today, and someone said, "Do the people do the BSV holders deserve this?" And I said, "No, like the people don't deserve this, right? Who are just playing it."
The thing about the way I would answer that question is to reiterate the fact that we are still in the wild west of this industry. The line between regulation, transparency, okay, these are still being developed. And this is a move, although it seemed like it was funny. There was some kind of hubris on Twitter about, this victory, so to speak, against certain people involved with SV, let's just say. But in actuality here, if this is almost, because of its high market cap, okay, it's almost like the Dow deciding to delist one of the Dow 30 just because it's probably a really bad comparison, but just because and the ripple effect that would have on the other 29, stocks, that, like, wow, if you were part of our club one day because of your valuation, and now with this one move, we can take 16.9% off from the day, while everything else more or less was, off a couple of percent. And to see that this will have this devaluation ripple effect across the markets, it shows that potentially, for any reason, no coin can be safe. And the power,
no.
the power that
Tron would never let Tron down. Never let Tron down. Never.
It's the power and it's the relationship. This is almost a political move.
It is, but is it decentralized? If they can all just gang up and say we're all going to delist whatever, I mean, is that decentralization?
And I think this is one more narrative for why the ETF thing, and we're still very far off that. The power that the exchanges have, the power that Binance has, the power that BitMEX, Hayes has, and other exchanges, the power that very few people have to influence the market. I mean, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about, being able to influence the market in this way. Just truly incredible. Hey, just a quick reset here, guys. 140, wow, of our closest friends. I am Big Chonis here. I'm with here, Big Cheds. Please hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to my channel here. Please follow me on Twitter. Please follow him on Twitter. Ched's daily EMA 12 support being tested, holding.
Okay.
Bitcoin holding over 5K. I just kind of want to wrap up the show here and kind of our overall thoughts. Still early in the week.
Yeah.
But even with this move, this consolidation from this tremendous way we started the month, continues, and this overall pattern, leaves running room to the $5,800 area, or a bearish retest of the mid 4,500s, and kind of everything in between is kind of potential areas to test, just because of how fast we ran through this area. Your thoughts?
I mean, yes, not only running room, but Big Chonis, room for error. Right? If we lose support here, look how much room for error we have. Because, like, we could pull back the 4,200 to have a massive lower wick, some volume behind it, and just look, it would still be like a great chart.
Yeah, I think the fact that we were consistently holding these higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, rocket ship, we can come down to 42, 43
all day,
and still keep this gorgeous higher low pattern intact.
Yeah, that's it. Room for error, right? That's
room for error.
Yeah.
So we've defined, this running room of support that would, cross some of our EMAs on higher time frames,
Okay.
would reset some of our indicators on higher time frames,
Mm-hmm.
but keep the overall, bullish sentiment intact. And listen, until we threaten, we meaning Bitcoin, we're the
Mm-hmm.
same, threaten, a break of the neckline, right? Which was our key breakout point. Resistance, 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 boom, support. Until that is threatened, the wall stands, and the price action can get down close to there, but not break it.
Mm-hmm.
And the bulls and this narrative that the bottom could very well be in, especially on those higher time frame indicators, Chats, which you were, talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The MA 200,
Yeah.
double test support, MA 50 on the weekly, still untested,
Mm-hmm.
still just a little higher here.
Mm-hmm.
And then overall, just wanting to see this fan out of our higher time frame EMAs. Look at the 12-hour here, and I'm going to just talk about lastly here moving averages. 50, 100, and 200. This is called a bullish fan out here. Bullish fan out, bullish fan out. Daily is the highest time frame we have still that we've yet to have that fan out. 200 over 50 over 100. We need brown over blue over red. And then on the daily, we're talking about, moving averages are all pointed in the right direction.
So if you're the conservative trader, maybe you're waiting for that type of a signal,
That's a great point. This is the cross that could define the bullish continuation that, the market's looking for. The rejection of this, or listen, I'd like to back test the MA 200, right, on the daily. Broke through it
daily. Where's that? The brown line?
It's the red one up here,
That's the MA 200. Yeah, that's
great.
That'd be wonderful. I mean, that potentially would correspond. I'm a Japanese candlestick trader. That would correspond with the midpoint of that large green candle 8 per second. That's my support. I mean,
it's not just that, but it flows in with a time frame of not too much longer. I think we'll get a very clarity of Bitcoin price action this month to determine if this move here is as strong as it appears to be, or if we fade down through the month because we just lost the buying intent to buy, above that 5K area. But until we lose a 5K support, at least on the daily, the bulls have the control really until proven otherwise.
There you go. I mean, I would just clearly, it's nice that we've made a move off bottom. We have some support. I just encourage people to be cautious and look at bigger picture. And it's easy to get caught up in enthusiasm. And you're seeing it on Twitter. There's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of people selling new services and doing all these things. I think it's important to look for a big view, a broader view, and kind of position yourself with proper risk management. Waiting for confirmation. I like this daily view with the fanned out moving averages. And, generally speaking, I like kind of the picture you've painted for us, Big Chonis.
Yeah. I mean, there's things that we're watching get back into a rhythm here. This bearish break broke the chart, tested the extremes of our indicators in a bearish sense. And now, after many months of sideways consolidation, we're beginning to turn these indicators on higher time frames into much more of a bullish trend than a bearish one. Still bearish on the highest of time frames. Still a long way to go to turn the 3-day into a bullish chart. And of course, the weekly, still a long way to go. The MA 100 is still on an uptrend, from the Bitcoin 20K move. So it hasn't even yet to turn over yet. So as well as the MA 200 as well. So we have to keep these things into context. The higher time frames tell a longer, broader story. And the story of Bitcoin is unending. 24/7, 365.
Never
And
ending story.
and that's why we love it and love talking about it.
We
Ched,
love you. We love you, man.
thanks, buddy.
ChonisTrading.com, is that right?
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, ChonisTrading.com. Check it out. Big Chonis at gmail.com, at Chonis Trading, at Big Cheds, at Big Chonis. Remember to hit that thumbs up button, guys. Guys, much appreciated here, hanging out with me and the Big Cheds. Please hit that thumbs up button. Lots of as we just kind of end the show here, just to real quick here. Our local top is the $5,500, just a hair under it. Until we can get back up there and break through that, that could be it. But the bulls are saying, I'm willing to hold as long as Bitcoin remains above 5K, and until that area breaks, there's no reason to feel this is going to fail.
We just
On the daily
like
close. On the daily close. That's why, as you said, these intraday moves, a move like what happened today could shake out somebody who's basing their trading decisions on higher time frames. So that's why if you're going to make a choice on the daily, either a break of moving averages on the higher time frames or lower, stick with that time frame in terms of your exit, and because quick moves, volatile intraday moves, they can be bought up and be actual buying opportunities. So keep that longer term trend in mind. And Bitcoin is forever, so plenty of time to make trades and to feel better. The bottom of the last, every bearish move, every bottom of every past Bitcoin bear market, maybe the bottom happened in a day or in a candle or two, but there was plenty of time near the bottoming to decide if you wanted to take a position, and that was rewarded several years later. So don't feel in any way that you've missed the boat. If you feel that you may have not had a chance to buy lower, there's still a lot yet to be determined if you may or may not have that chance once again. So that's what I'm watching as we progress through the week. And that's what I got. Any last thoughts, Chad?
Yeah, where can I know you're doing some great work at Bitcoin Live. Where's the sign up link if I'm one of your followers and I want to get involved in that? Where could I go?
Yeah, it's on my YouTube page. You can check that out as well. I'm a featured analyst on the Bitcoin Live platform. Great group of traders and analysts over there.
Why is it that your posts get more views than mine? Like, what's the deal? Why do people like you more than me? Like, that's what I don't get.
I add a lot of clickbait into my videos. So
okay.
Something to check out there. But Chad, this is great. I really appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. And to 130 plus of our closest friends, already hit the thumbs up button, guys. And listen, this is gonna be a really interesting week here in the Bitcoin price action. I'm very excited to see how this plays out. And with that, just keep on the volume, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, get your pet spayed and neutered too.
Okay, there, Bob Barker. Until then, we will talk to y'all later. Peace.
Big Sheds out.